Non ne ho idea. Sul Castellare ci sono le pause.
Hello.
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 Please, your name, introduce.
My name is Jacopo.
My name is Duccio.
And my name is Niccolò.
So, Jacopo, Duccio, Niccolò, I have, before starting, I have to ask you the formal consent to the video recording.
Yes, absolutely.
The video will be used for the summer school and will be archived at the University of Siena.
Okay.
So it can be used just and only for didactic purposes.
Perfect. So we will be famous. Okay?
Yes, you will be
absolutely
famous.
famous. Thank you very much.
Okay, where are we now?
So first of all, I would like to welcome you in our Contrada. What is a Contrada? Contrada, there's not a literally translation, but the nearest word is neighborhood. So we are in the neighborhood of the Contrada della Civetta. You know, we have 17 contradas in Siena, a special tradition, the Palio of Siena. We have a horse race twice a year, but the contrada lives all the years. 17 contradas, each of that has its boundaries, its territories. Within the contrada, there is the Museum of the Contrada, where we have all our historical objects, the stable, where we host the horse during the day of the Palio, and what we call Società. It's a place where we pass the winter because we like to drink and eat, especially to drink very often. So we make a lot of dinner every week, more or less. And so here we are in the Castellare. Castellare, it is a medieval castle built within the city. Here lives the family of the Ugurgeri, and it's a medieval structure. So here there are our roots, okay, our roots, and it's quite a nice place.
This is the heart of our contrada. The Civetta, the owl, is one of the smallest contrada of Siena, if not the smallest one. And this is our heart. This fortification, quite the same as the medieval times. It is like a diamond inside the city. And we are very small because we are inside the heart of Siena. We are in the center, close by the other contradas. And here we have we started to live here, and then we expanded our rooms, our places of work in the other part of the contrada. The society is in the street next of this castellare, and nowadays all this castellare is dedicated to our museum.
Mm-hmm.
The museum, this is one of the places where the tour of the museum came across, but the starting place of the museum is on the first floor of the Palace of Ugurgeri. The Palace of Ugurgeri is this tower. This used to be a tower.
Medieval tower, 13th century. Mm-hmm. And obviously, we have to say a very important thing, you are in the best contrada, obviously.
Yes, the nicest one.
And so all the buildings just around here, all around, is the museum and the stable of the contrada. And this is our little bar where we used to take
Fortificated bar.
bar, where we used to take our aperitif and and something to drink, and we meet all the night. Okay, so I think
The bar is here just in these days to have fun together here because we don't have Palio in these days. Because in the back of the bar there is a stable.
So better to.
Yeah, but during the day of the Palio, of course, the bar isn't here. And the horse is not a horse of the Contrada. It's one of the most things people don't know. But is a horse came from the stable of in all province of Siena.
Of a breeder.
Yeah.
A breeder, not of the Contrada. So it's given to the Contrada by luck.
by luck,
There
by
is a
sort.
lottery.
4 days before the Palio, there is a lottery, so we really don't know which horse we will have for the horse race.
And another important thing to understand is that Contrada is a group of people, of course, that should be like a group of family. So as a family, we like to live together and play activities together, and also we like we grow up all together. So, for example, from me and him, there is a gap of age, but also from me and someone who is 16, maybe 16, but we don't
are
care.
still good friends.
Yeah, we don't care about it.
He is the oldest, but we drink together.
Together. Questo è il vicario.
Ok.
This is a very important person inside the Contrada.
Vicario, buonasera Fabio.
This is one of the persons in charge of the Contrada because it's very complicated. We have many people working for the Contrada, the captain and the priore. And the captain is in charge of the Palio, while the priore is in charge of all the ordinary things of all the years. And he's one of the people who help the priore. He's vicario and his name is Filippo. Ti sei trovato proiettato così a tuffo.
In un attimo.
In un attimo.
Yeah.
All the charges are under election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every 2 years there is a special commission that listen all people of the Contrada, and then there is a votation.
Yes, there is by election.
Election.
There is an election day, election week maybe, and all the people are called to give their preference to the people who have a role inside the Contrada.
About 150 people are working, all voluntary. And the particular thing is that the more you grow in the work, okay, if you can prioritize, the more you have to pay.
Yeah.
Pay.
Yeah.
This is a particular thing.
It's the opposite of Italy.
It's the opposite, opposite of what in general you think. The more you come to the top, the more you have to.
Onus and honor.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And this division from captain and priore is because the captain remains to the military part of the Contrada, because Contrada born in the medieval time. So in the medieval time there was the captain and the people under him. Also here, and nowadays the role of the captain is to manage all the things about the horse and the jockey, of course, because when the horse is given by sword to the Contrada, the captain already knows who called as jockey. And jockey comes, and after the Palio, we have to pay the jockey, we have to pay...
It's like a war.
Yeah, it's like a war, but who wins? It's not a winning of money. It's a winning about honor and glory.
Yeah.
It's, also because who win has to pay the others.
A lot. To pay a lot.
To pay a lot the others.
And
Yeah.
even this is a particular thing, because if you win, you don't get money, but if you win, you have to pay a lot of money. And to let you understand the difference between Capitano and Priore, I can do an example. Priore is like the prime minister of a state, while Capitano is like a general of the army. So during all the year, the Contrada is controlled by the priore, the prime minister. During the day of the Palio, that it is like a war, it's the captain, the head of the Contrada.
Take the power.
Take the power.
Run the race.
The Capitan can count on the help of.
Yes, of many people, about 20, 25. The captain has about 3, 4, we call mangini, that help him. Then there is Barbaresco and Vice Barbaresco, people who are in charge of the horse. They even sleep the 4 days with the horse. And then our people, who are the Fantini, they stay all the day with the jockey, because you have to control the jockey. You don't have to trust the jockey, absolutely not. So you have to stay with them, you have to control them, even the phone you have to control.
The horse is treated like a baby. So when in your family there is a newborn, a new baby, it's the same for us when the horse come here. One of particular things is that in Siena, in the province of Siena, we don't eat the meat of the horse. While in Italy, of course, yes.
It's a taboo, eating the meat of the horse, because the horse is like a treasure given by luck. Instead of the jockey is a man taken by the Contrada by a contract. But
a mercenary.
A mercenary, but
to drive the horse.
Usually he isn't of one Contrada. He's a mercenary.
And you have to pay a lot of money, and you have to have good relation with many people to can have the best jockey. Obviously, you have to have one of the best horse, but you have to have good relationship with the jockey.
And the horse is very important also, and not the jockey. The jockey is not important, and we can see it also because before the race there is the blessing of the horse and not of the jockey. And we will see it after in our tour in our church.
A horse can win without a jockey. Jockey without horse cannot win. Okay?
Okay.
So we can start from the museum.
Yeah.
Seguite.
Ho visto.
So look, this is the symbol of the museum. Okay?
It's stylized the whole.
2017, because we did the last enlargement of the museum. But actually, we began this space in 1930. So quite a long project, one century of project.
From 1930.
Yeah. Then we show you where we begin.
Inside our territory, inside the territory of every Contrada, you can find small details, small things, but everything has a meaning, like everything inside our Contrada. But even the symbols, the tree, the crown, everything has a meaning. The lions, the emblems.
This is
everywhere.
the emblems of the Famiglia degli Ugurgeri, the family of the Ugurgeri. And this was donated, I think, about 40 years ago from the last persons of the Ugurgeri that was still alive. So here we are in the museum. What do we have inside the museum? We have the history of the Contrada, because we have a lot of objects of the Contrada. There is the history of Siena, because we have buildings. This is a tower of 12th century, a palace of 13th century. And we have even little history of Italy, because we have some objects linked to specific period that represents specific period. And even each palio has a specific iconography that is linked to each period, historical period.
We can find some details about the architectural things of this territory of Siena, and the manner of the life in Siena. Especially this, we found this pit during the restoration workings, and this is a well, but not a water well. It is basically the medieval dumpster.
There is a column here that reach on the floor, and usually medieval people used to throw rubbish. And so here you can find the rubbish of the 13th and 14th century. And we did the dig because
Yes.
I'm archaeologist, he's architect, sorry. And so we did the dig. Okay.
And we found that this well was basically full of soil, full of things, and we started to dig.
And we found a lot of things. For example,
we found the trash, the medieval trash.
medieval trash.
Are those pottery?
Medieval pottery, this is called the Maiolica Archaica, end of 13th century and 14th century. And this pottery tells us a story of the family that lived here. Very rich and important family. Those are corks and pottery for a kitchen. So we have a lot of history starting in medieval ages.
And then we have also the palios. We have in those rooms the oldest palios that we saved in the time. We start from 1727, 1761. The first known paleo run by horses is from 581, but we lost the banners because they are very old.
So the oldest palio that we have is this 1761. This palio was cutted. It has to be long. The iconography of this palio is very simple. Virgin Mary at the top. Half Virgin Mary because is the palio of Provenzano, while the Virgin of the Assumption in August is total body.
Painted full body.
And these are the
emblem of the families that put the money to organize the race. So they have
a sponsorship,
sponsor.
like a sponsorship.
Red Bull, medieval Red Bull.
They paid to run the palio. Okay.
Okay.
And these other two banners have the date inverted, and these two banners remains of the first two cappotto of the history. Cappotto is when a contrada win in two palio in rows.
Both the palio.
Both the palio, July and August.
It's very difficult.
And of course, this the one of these is a banner of the cappotto of this is in the middle of the 1778, and from the Palio of July, and we lost the banner of the Palio of August. The same thing is for 2 years later. The banner of the writer is one of the banner of the Palio in 1780, but we lost the banner of August.
Good.
Good.
We are in one of the oldest historical rooms of our Contrada, and less by less
We will go. This is an opus.
a triumph of opus.
Called Invitation in Viva Contemporaneo. Invitation
To the contemporary.
Is that paper or what? What material? Plastic paper?
I think plastic. We think plastic.
Sembra solo. Questa là, come riesci a vedere?
So here we have many flags. That flag is particular because the one there, because we have a picture, just with one, We have a picture.
The central one? The central.
One. Yes, with the symbol stylized flowers.
Okay.
White flowers. We have a picture of that flag in the main square of our Contrada, that is Square Tolomei, that is in top of the main street of our Contrada, in the top of a pillar column with the she-wolf. This is the original she-wolf that was in that pillar.
Ah, in Piazza Tolomei.
Yes. And that picture was when the army of United States arrived and free Siena from the World War II. And they look at the she-wolf and the pillar, they saw the flag of Italy, they know the flag of Italy, but they saw even the flag of Civetta, and they maybe
The
think,
face
what is
says
this,
something like,
this flag?
what is this? What is this?
We have undergrounds.
Underground.
And every part of Siena is under the soil level, and we have.
Pay attention to the steps.
And Siena is built over the sand. It's like there is a sand castle under the soil, with rooms, tunnels, and every part, quite every part is connected. We can see even the geological eras in the walls, those horizontal stripes of stones brought by the sea.
Again,
Again,
And with-
our pottery.
The trash of another trash well. that
We
is
found four
trash
pits,
wells, yes.
four trash wells. So we found pottery starting
ancient
from the
glass,
13th
bones
century.
of animals that maybe
Glasses, those are glasses.
they ate the animal and they throw the bones inside the well. And this is the small.
This is another trash pit.
Faccio luce col telefono.
So now we should go inside the church.
During our walk, we can see the flags turning in a circle, in a spiral. This is the idea of putting the flags on the top.
So you are in the church of the Contrada. This space doesn't look like a church. Before there was masonry. Dice masonry in falegnameria?
Non so, falegnameria.
Masonry. There was a shop here before a church. In 1930, the Contrada bought this space and transformed into a church. You can see the flags of the Civetta and the four flags of the friends of the Civetta, of the allied Contrada.
official alive.
Official allied Contrada.
Over here, there is the main street, Via Cancellieri. From here, enter the horses. Of course, without any things. Enter the horses, and then with our priest, because each Contrada has a personal priest, we have the blessing of the horse.
And in Contrada, we vote the priest, okay? We vote the priest.
Selecting the priest amongst.
No, obviously it's a symbolic vote.
Yeah.
Because we have one priest, very nice people, and we used to vote during the assemblea. Then we will tell you what is an assembly.
So formally, even the priest is elected.
Formally, even the priest is elected. Yes.
So what we have here is a monument of the fallen Civettini of the First World War.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can see the the saints with the scarf is San Bernardo Tolomei.
And the other one is Sant'Antonio da Padova.
The two saints of the Contrada.
Yeah, the two saint patron.
We have two because in 2009 we had only San Antonio da
Padova.
But in 2009, Beato Bernardo Tolomei. Tolomei is in a very important family.
Used to be a noble family.
Noble families of
territory.
this region.
Yeah, so much noble that they had the square, and the church in the square was them. Was
And the palace.
And
Palazzo Tolomei.
all the painting we have, and also some of this statue were in banchi di sotto in the church we had before. Okay, named San Pietro in Banchi. When the church was the priest died, and the church was sold to have some shops. So we remains without any church. During this period, from the church and this one, we used to have to do our celebration in the church of Tolomei.
Piazza Tolomei.
Piazza Tolomei. So the family of Tolomei give us an altar where we can have celebration. And today it remains our altar.
So you have this oratorium, this church,
Yes.
and a special altar in the main church in San Cristoforo.
And San Bernardo Tolomei in 2009 he was Beato, so not saints. In June he became saints, and we decided to put as patron
To acquire.
okay,
As patron.
with Sant'Antonio, because it was 30 years that we didn't win the Palio, so we needed help.
Yes, another help.
And in fact, we won the Palio of 2009
Dedicated
August,
to-
that was
dedicated to
dedicated to Bernardo Tolomei. And Bernardo Tolomei was the founder of the Monte Olivetani.
And the order of Benedettini.
Yes, order of Benedettini. And so we gave him the scarf because he helped us to win after 30 years.
And in fact, we have a special relationship with the monastery of Monte Oliveto, and each year in the 19th of August we have a small celebration with the play trump and the two play flags there in the tomb. In the grave
of Bernardo Tolomei.
But the blessing of the horse of this church. The horse enter from the main entrance, the bench is set apart, the priest is on the altar, in front of the altar,
and around the horse there is the comparsa.
and all the people of the Contrada that can enter in this small church.
They will explain what is the comparsa, what is mean when we see the monture.
And the priest says a special ritual that
Speech.
in Italian sounds like va e torna vincitore.
Go and return victorious.
Yes,
He speak
go.
directly to the horse.
Yes.
Call the name of the horse and then they...
Yes, because we don't care about the jockey, but we care about the horse.
Yeah. There is also a special feeling, I can say. Don't know how to explain that is that if the horse has poo in the church,
It's good luck.
It's a good luck.
Okay, so we can follow and see the stable.
Of course, we have an enemy Contrada.
Questo è da spiegare.
We have an enemy Contrada that is the unicorn, the horse with the horn in the front.
Bel Contrada.
Bel Contrada.
Important is the two banners on the left, because we have a change of style. The banner in the right is the 1789, and we can see a change of style. for the banner of 1811 and 1812. Why? Because in the 1806 started the Emperor of Napoleone. Napoleone abolished the nobility. He doesn't want other people as the crest on the banner, and he put his imperial eagle in the middle, all with French colors. But the year later, in the 1812, he was a bit magnanimous, and he permitted to put the first letter of the family who sponsorized the Palio. And we have in the other rooms the third Napoleone banner.
We were in the church, but the main room of this Contrada, the most important, is this one. This is the home of the horse. This is where the horse stays during the days of the Palio. When he sleeps.
With all the theme addicted to the horse. In fact, during the day of the Palio, the museum is closed to everybody, person who belong to the Contrada and tourists, of everybody, because this door is open, and all the people dedicated to the horse sleeps here and lives here. They put a small fridge for the water and the beer, but they live here, so everything is closed. Also because the work of the captain and the people under him is top secret.
So the stable is at the floor level.
It's the floor level of the Castellare.
Yeah.
In the start of our experience, we were outside of this. Then we go down and we unconsciously
we went.
the stairs. So it's like a labyrinth, this museum.
You can see how growing age, the style of the Palio change. Okay, they changes. So we have a different iconography.
Starting from here, the last one, the only panel we have, and growing up during the years.
Not so fast. Okay.
So this is the fontaine of the Contrada, where we bless the people. But it is not a religious ceremony. It is a laic ceremony, because it is not the priest that bless the people, but it is the priore. Okay, and so here you became part of the officially part of the Contrada of the Civetta. And every year, during the day of the Sun Patron, all the babies and even adult are blessed here and become part of the Contrada della Civetta.
What is required to an adult to become part?
Actually, to be contradaiolo, we use 3 different ways. What we call in Italian, where in Latin, is ius soli, ius sanguinis, and ius culturae. So ius soli, every contrada has a boundary and a territories. If you're born here, you are of this contrada. Automatically. Ius sanguinis, for example, if your family doesn't live inside the ancient city, within the medieval boundary, but they live in a periphery, in general, the son takes the contrada of the father, and the daughter takes the contrada of the mother. But if you are a tourist or a student that come here in Siena just to visit, and you feel something for a contrada, okay, and you begin to follow the contrada, you begin to know some people, you can become part of the contrada, and this is ius culturae. So, for example, if you like, we have many people coming from Rome, coming from Milano, coming from Canada, from the States, from France. We have 2-3 family of France, one of England. So we have many people coming from every part of the world during the day of the Palio especially.
And they try to, during the days of the Palio, to return here, to see the Palio inside their family basically.
Yeah, they stop work and come here. So someone spend the holidays in another moment. Contrada, so a person who belongs to the Contrada, take the holidays during the day of the Palio.
Has Civetta been affected by the trend to leave out of the historic city?
Yes, absolutely yes. As many of the Contrada that are in the very center of Siena, very near Piazza del Campo, because we have many offices here, and so people do not doesn't live here anymore. And so this change the way to live the Contrada and the style of living the Contrada. Because when I was young, for example, so about 30 years ago, 35, I just lived here. I came here in the square of the Castellari, and there were 10, 15 children, and we used to play here, all of the Contrada of the Civetta. And we used to do Contrada in this way. You just exit your home, and you are in the Rione, in the neighborhood. And nowadays this is no more possible because there's no people living here. And so the Contrada is trying to do a lot of things, even using social network and other kind of activity to attract people to come here again and to live the neighborhood, okay? Because we are very linked to our walls, okay? But the change of the lifestyle, the globalization, it's
the starting of limited zone for the circulation also.
So this changed a lot the way you live the Contrada. But the Contrada is very dynamic, so it can follow the change of the time. Yeah, so you change lifestyle, but you are part of the Contrada. You change the way you live the Contrada, but the Contrada still live. This is why the Contrada came from medieval times and will go in the future. Okay, so we are not worried. We don't fear the future for the Contrada. Contrada will change. Contrada will change, but they will remain Contrada. Okay. So here we are changing the room. This, it's upstairs, there is the Castellare, the little square. When we did the work 3 years ago, we did a dig to link the two parts. So here we are in a medieval building, this.
We excavated the underground.
And here is the other buildings. Here we are in the foundation of the two buildings. What you can see here,
Siena.
This was made by the addetti ai giovani. What are the addetti ai giovani? The addetti ai giovani are the people in Contrada in charge of the children of the Contrada. And this is Piazza del Campo and all the Contrada. This is the best one, this is the worst one. And all the 17 Contradas. This was made by the addetti ai giovani to help little children to understand the history, to play with, like a puzzle, with the territory of the Contrada. Si va?
And we are entering in the original room of the first museum that we have
Oh, the,
before the restoration.
So this is the room we call La Sala del 55, the room of the 55. Why? Because we have the costumes in our language we call monture of 1955 and this three 1928, and even this piece, this one, was bought in 1950. And so this is why we call the room of the 55. Those two are what we call Masgalano. It's an award for the best comparsa, that is the best drummer and flag players. There is an award every year for the two Palio. It's 1 kilo of silver work by professional artisans.
Yeah, Masgalano, the name Masgalano comes from Spanish Masgalan, so most elegant and more beautiful. And the people under, after they play flag and they play drum, there is a lot of figures and they have to march as military. And of course the protagonists are they play flag and the drum.
is the flag waving fixed?
The gates of the
Yeah, the figure that they can do.
You can the figure. There are some rules. There are some rules. Some of that are codified. First of all, the flags must not touch the ground. First of all, and there are some games that I don't know if they are fixed actually, but there are very strict rules. There are very strict rules. Actually, we don't know what the movement means. We have 2 or 3 different interpretations. One of those is that the movement were a sort of way of communication in medieval times. The other interpretation is that the move are like a sword, using a sword. Okay, so this is the two meanings. While
The drum must be played making the same rhythm for each contrada.
There are 2 types of rhythm. One that is a happy drum, and it is just when you enter in the territory of other contradas, of course not for the rival, and when you enter in your territory and in Piazza del Campo or in the Duomo, the cathedral. The other is like a march, so more schematic.
Martial.
A march.
And yes,
And
in Piazza.
In Piazza del Campo, during the history walk, the passeggiata storica, when there is these games of flags and drum, the flags moves the serial writing of the drum, and it is very similar to each contradas, but if you hear it, it changes a lot. You can see similar, but it changes a lot, and that's why there is a point given to the not detracted to the play drum, as he was good to do it. And there is a school all over the year from each contrada where the older people teach to the young people. Or, for example, if an adult becomes part of the contrada, also adult can attend it. And it's very important because there is so a tradition in each contrada of how to play the flags also, not just the drum.
Yes, if you know, you can feel the difference. Even flag players and drummers. Each contrada has its own tradition.
So you can recognize the contrada from the drum.
More or less.
Yeah, there is a link
Yeah.
from everybody, from each contrada, but just a link
Yeah.
and difference.
And the clothes of the people that enter in the square, the wearing of the people, are of course by our color of our contrada, but the clothes change during the historical times. Every 20-30 years, there is a big change of every cloth of our contrada. And they have to be strict in the emblem of the symbol, but there is some artist that draw the sketch of those clothes, and then we.
And in our contrada, it's 1 century that we have people of the contrada that sketch, that do the draws of the historical costumes.
Those are from 55. 1950.
The production of the actual costumes has been made by volunteer work or by professional?
We have
professional.
to pay.
They cost a lot, and we even bought stuff even from India.
Yes.
Because in that time, medieval time, and
They use the
post-medieval
Indian
time,
material.
they use
The wire.
To trade.
The wire are made by gold. This is silk and very precious materials.
and they cost a lot, really a lot. Those are our costumes of the 1980s. So what we don't use no more, we put in the museum. The costume that we use today are in another place called Economato. In Economato there are flags, drum, and all objects that we use. So in this case, the museum is like an archive that you put the things that you don't use anymore. Here we have a particular piece. Those two are two palio straordinario because sometimes we like to invent an excuse to do a third palio
Because we love to
run.
Right.
And so those, the iconography is different because there's no Virgin Mary at the top, but the iconography represents the excuse to do the palio. So this is dedicated to Santa Caterina da Siena, and this the Battaglia di Montaperti, the struggle of Montaperti of the 1260, where even Dante Alighieri was part of the military army of Florence.
And it was in the 60s, so the dedication is given even to the Olympic Games.
Yes, because in Rome there was the Olympic game, and after about 20 years, the Sportive Federation gave us
The torch.
the Olympic torch, one of the 5 Olympic torch original of the Olympic Games. This is another palio. I told you before that the palio represents the spirit of the time. So this was made and won in the fascistic era, Mussolini era, and you can see the age, anno XV dell'era fascista. That means the 15 years of the fascistic era. And you can see a she-wolf, very
The artistic
aggressive,
style is military.
military and of fascistic period. So this is history of Italy, actually.
Those are all the years we won a medal. 57 times.
Not many actually.
First one, and then
You have to add another one.
yes, we think it is.
Even 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, 4, 5.
Attenzione allo scalino.
Gli alzo un po' di luci.
No, non lo so se ci vedi. So here we are in the main room that is called Sala delle Adunanze and is dedicated to Sabatino Mori. Why Sala delle Adunanze? Because here, about every 3-4 times each year, we have all the Contrada, a meeting of a Contrada, an assembly, where sits the Priore and Capitano, and we decide how to manage the Contrada all the year. And we vote all the things for the Contrada. And this is dedicated to Sabatino Mori. It was a captain who won for Palio. And when he died, he didn't have any son or daughter, and he gave all the things to the Contrada, and thanks to him we could vote these rooms.
And here, he also left us the 4 stick of the winning, because the banner remains to the Contrada, the stick remains to the captain, and the plat we have to put a sign in the plat with the date and the name of the Contrada who won. And after the plat was re-given to the mayor, when the plat is full, as this one, the plat remains to the last one, Contrada who won it. So this is from us for the 1976.
Then there is the clothes of the jockey, the jacket and the helmet.
This is from the half of the last century. From the 1716 we have also the helmet of Aceto, the jockey we had, the victorious jockey we had.
Aceto is one of the most famous jockey of Siena.
Of the history of now.
And this is the whip, the weapon of the jockey. The weapon of the jockey for help the horse to run, but even to help the others to don't run. The unicorn in this year hit our jockey in the head.
In the front and the starting
but
of
we
the
won that Palio, so this is a glorious car.
And the banner over there is the banner of the 1966. So
this is the Palio of the 2009 dedicated to San Bernardo Romei. And the last one is here. The last Palio we won is this one.
here we have. Potremmo anche dire un piccolo aneddoto su Lucio Cangiolieri. Sì. Ora si racconta. This is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful banners of the recent history of Siena, made by a Bulgarian artist, Dimitrov, because the banner of July is made by a person who lives in Siena or near Siena. The banner of August can do it also an international artist. So, if you follow, this is very important also because it's one of the first double-faced palio. In fact, if you come here in the back of the banner, you can see a poetry of Mario Luzzi. Mario Luzzi was a very important poet in Siena who was born in Florence. And remember all times the big rivalities from Siena and Florence. He was born in Florence, but he discovered Siena, fell in love in Siena, and dedicated a lot of his poetry to Siena. And was in this case the palio was dedicated to him because each palio has a person or an event dedicated. The curious things I want to explain you, to tell you, is about that palio and this banner. This is the banner of the 2nd of July in the 1979. And dedicated to Cecco Angiolieri. Cecco Angiolieri was a very important poet in Italy, but we say maledictus poet, because in his poetry he wrote and speech about Bourne, the Pope, killed the father, and
he was against the church.
Against the church, and also his family. And he wrote also about, he said in the translation, in my life I just care about three things: the woman, the bar, the tavern, and the hazard games. And the hazard games. So
atypical for medieval time. Very atypical.
And but he was born here in our territory, so he was like a part of us. We asked to the mayor about 20-30 years to make a palio dedicated to him. Finally, it happened. We has a run for right for that palio, because there are each palio, July and July, August and August, so year by year, 7 Contrada who run for right, and 3 who has been extracted by sword to the other 10. And we was extracted for this palio, and we won it, and it was the palio we asked for our poet Cecco. But when we went in the Church of Provenzano to say thank you to the Virgin, maybe something happened, because we remained 30 years without any winning.
The Virgin Mary didn't love Cecco.
Didn't love Cecco.
So we remained 30 years
That's
without winning, and then came San Bernardo.
San Bernardo
To save us.
This one.
This one.
This one. So this is obviously a joke, but we like to,
but
to tell a history.
But there is also another funny history about it, because one of us, during the days of the celebration of the Saint Patron that we have in June, dreamed about winning of the banner of the palio. And the painting was presented just 1 week before the palio, and this was the palio of August, but the dream was in June. And he remains in this dream that there was a cloud from where the banner comes down. And in fact, after 2 months, if you see the paint, there is in the top of the cloud, and after the banner.
So in Siena we love to say that there is sacro and profano. We love the religious things of the region, but we love all the chit chat about the luck, the blessing, not canonical religious things.
Not very religious. This is a very ancient tradition, because it starts from the 11th, 12th century. It is a unique thing of Italy, and I think of the world, because sacro and profano are so linked, We are something apart. People here are very religious, but this doesn't mean that they like Rome, for example, the Pope. Okay, so it's quite a particular.
The city, in some ways, has a sublimation of this aspect. The 2 city bells, one in front of the other, are the bell of the cathedral, the religious one, and the bell of the council, the Torre del Mangia, that is a like bell.
Yes, and in general, in medieval towns, the town hall took power against the priest, against the archbishop, but not here in Siena. They were linked together, okay? And so this is quite unique, okay?
Even the horse inside the church is not a thing that the religion like of Siena.
Every new bishop that came in Siena, the first things that says, "I don't like this, you have to stop." And we answer, "Don't worry, we will continue to do it."
We are going in the underground.
Again,
And very deep underground. Another pit another well with our archaeological objects, starting again 13th, 14th century. This is a plate with
The emblem of
the family Ugurgeri, what you saw at the entrance. This should be 15th, 16th century. So our history is linked, it's deeply linked to the present. Okay, so it's a history that still
It's a circle.
lives today. Living history.
Here we cannot record the weather changing, but we can feel actually the weather that it's going cooler and
humid.
And in those rooms this froze, this cool is kept during every part of the year. This is actually sand.
Very easy to excavate. This is why Siena underground, it's all excavated, because it's very, very easy to excavate.
And the excavation because Siena is an atypical city, an atypical commercial city, because I think it's one of the... We don't have a river in Siena. So the trade and the trade relationship were difficult, but we are in the Via Francigena, so the connection from Rome
It was the
to
high
French.
road of the medieval time, from North Europe till
The highway,
Rome.
yeah.
The highway.
And we tried to found an underground river called La Diana, but we never found that.
Without success.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a labyrinth. It's quite cold here.
Actually, we don't know when these rooms were built. Some people say are from the Etruscan period, that means 6th, 7th century before Christ. Probably these are medieval period, between 11 till 14th century. We still don't know really the use of this space.
We have a lot of ideas,
A lot of
but
interpretation, but no really documentation that can testify what
Could be used
could
for.
be used for.
we know just that the light over there, I don't know if but with the camera you can see the light over there.
Yeah.
That is the level of the street, and this was a window for the changing of air.
We are just, I think, 10, 15 meters underground.
Underground.
So quite a lot if you think that these were built probably in medieval times or 14th, 15th century. Cross.
A cross.
A cross, maybe you cannot see, but there is
At the
a
top.
cross
Yeah.
at the top.
Oh, yes, yes, I can see.
And also about this, the real used, we don't, maybe a tomb, maybe someone comes
Even
here
a
to pray.
shelter, maybe even a shelter, or magazzino, come si dice magazzino?
Storage.
A
Storage.
Thank you.
Or hem.
Thank you for the advice.
Then we have others trash wells.
Yeah. And another room we should escape, but
be excavated even now.
So before they did the pit, then they decided to create a room, and doing the work they just cut the
hole.
the well, okay? And here we should be between 13th and 14th century, more or less.
We have to check.
We have to check, but
15, 14th century.
13, 14, in my opinion, because the buildings at the top are built 14th, 15th century. And so the well usually was built with the buildings. And so after, they decided to do that room, that cut, okay, that destroyed the pit. So we have this hypothetical chronology.
And from here we can hear the people passing in the street, because we are under the street.
And we can see also the sound of the sea, because Siena, some years ago, just last year, was under the level of the sea. Yeah, some eras ago.
Some million of years ago.
Some millions. And we have the remains of the position of the sea.
So all these places are all linked. So you could walk all around the city, but underground. Okay.
To the shops, maybe entering in the shops.
Or in the house of others.
For example, we blocked here, but here you go in my home. in
The underground.
In the underground of my home. Here. And here in another home. Okay.
When we were a child, we loved to explore all those galleries, all those rooms, and they put
And this is why the Contrada had to block, because little children coming from here, going
There
here.
is just the problem of the private property. A little problem. So.
Well, it was not a very good idea to walk all around without light.
to the bank.
So here someone came in the day before the Palio.
Maybe my brother.
In the 1921.
1921.
1921.
Not your brother.
Not your.
Because this place often were even used during the World War First and Second to protect people during bombing. During bombing, they used to come here because it's quite safe.
Also because it remains without any problems for centuries.
These places do not change. So we go back to the top.
To the magical door.
The magical door.
This is quite a magical door because we
Occhio alla testa.
return to the entrance.
We are at the beginning, like a circle. And we are back at
The starting point.
the starting point. So we hope you enjoyed this trip, and maybe why not? You could come in Siena to watch
our Contrada.
to our Contrada,
And not
obviously.
to the unicorn.
Not to the
Of course not.
No, I'm really speechless because it is surprising.
It's emotional.
Yeah, so
Started
rich
to,
and
to
so.
feel the Contrada, to feel something, and this is this emotion that brings you to be less by less a part of the Contrada.
Yes, I think that you have been able to transfer this kind of feeling. And,
We hope.
And
The feelings that century by century, parents from parents, came across today's.
Through us.
the summer school is pivoting on the concept of heritage.
Okay, so you are in the right place.
So it was a perfect visit for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.